Welcome back to the boat project, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to put the lower unit back onto the boat. It's a little chilly out today, but the sun is out and I just couldn't wait any longer. So I'm gonna attempt to put this back on by myself. I've done it once before. It was a little challenging. I think I have an idea on how to make this just a little bit easier. So I'm gonna flip this camera around and let me show you what we got and we'll work through this together. Come on. All right, so here's the boat. So here's my idea. My idea is I have this motorcycle strap here, and I think that I'm gonna be able to hook this on here, strap it around the lower unit here in hopes that I can use this strap to hold it up while I get everything lined up, because I have to be able to hold it up, kind of get some stuff lined up and then put it in. So we shall see. We shall see. See, I've got to get it to like right here and then kind of get everything lined up. So this is what I was hoping, is this would go right here. All right, that's perfect. That's all we need. Just this motorcycle strap works perfect. Just kind of hold this web so I'm not having to hold all the weight. And now I can try to get everything lined up. There's a water pipe in here I gotta get lined up. So there's a water pipe in here I gotta get lined up. I gotta get the shift rod lined up in there. And then I've got to try to get the drive shaft actually splined into the engine. So let me see where we're at with this shift rod. And yeah, the shift rod's what's preventing us from going any further. So I'm gonna get us a flathead and I'll try to show you on the camera. I'm gonna get a flathead and I gotta get in there and push that shift rod forward just a little bit so it goes into the hole, and then this should slide up again. I've got to make sure all the water pipe's lined up, the exhaust pipe is lined up, and then I've got to get the shift rod in there, and hopefully that I measured that correctly and we get that back together properly. So. All right, I got my screwdriver. I know you can't really see this. I tried to get it on camera, but the way the lighting is and everything, it's just that shift rod comes up through this tube, and I've got to try and push up on this. At the same time, wiggle that shift rod around so that I can get it to slide in, but I gotta make sure my water pipe and my exhaust are all lined up too. And I'm gonna need a flashlight for that. All right, let me see if I can get this in here. Be able to see in there. Yeah, that's definitely not lined up, and that's okay because I'm gonna have to pick up on this a little bit. What I want to make sure I got lined up is that water pipe. I don't want to bump this too much. Don't want it to fall. All right, that was the water pipe clicking in. Now I'm gonna crank this up a little bit. Help me lift that up. And I gotta get the, now I just gotta get the shift rod through its hole. You can see my exhaust boot coming up. I don't like that. I don't know why it's doing that. See, I had that all lined up where I wanted it, now it's not. Yeah, I might need to try to lower the motor down some. I don't want to bend anything. I don't think it is. If I get it close enough to get a, I don't want that necessarily. Or do we? Maybe we do. There it goes. Come on, get in there. Alright. There it is. Alright, shift rod just cleared the hole, and you can see now my gap is much better here. We're working it in. So let me straighten the motor back up one more time. Now that that shift rod's in, you can see my gap here is getting much more appropriate. I could probably get a bolt in it now. If I can get a bolt in it, I don't have to worry about the strap falling off. Almost. Not quite. Oh, yeah. There it is. All right, so well, I don't know when the camera quit, but so what I did is I got the shift rod into the hole, and as soon as I did that, the gap, I got the water pipe set in there. My gap really straightened out a lot here. And just looking here, looks like the exhaust is in the right spot. I'm pretty sure the water is in the right spot. And I was able to get a bolt started here. So now I can just kind of use the bolt and the strap to work that gap in. And I'm gonna have to wiggle this prop shaft. I'll put the prop on it temporarily. So I can use the prop to kind of turn the prop shaft in there. I've got it in reverse gear. So I've got the unit in reverse gear so that I can kind of wiggle that prop shaft in there until we feel it seat in there. There it is. So that definitely set in. See now how much better my gap looks here. So again, you just got to kind of wiggle it in. I'm looking at my exhaust pipe to make sure it's where I want it, and it is. Yeah, everything's looking really good. So I I'm just gonna kind of wiggle everything in. So I should not be able to turn this, and I'm not. It's in, so. You can see here my gap's almost completely gone, and this gap right here between the engine head and the lower unit is gone. Everything's good. There's really no pressure on the bolt, which is good. Yep, that squeezed it right in. You can see how nice and tight my gap is here now. So, one down, 5 to go. All right, I'll put one on the other side now. Everything should line up nice and easy. Kind of loosen some things back up here, just until I get all the bolts aligned. Everything's going in by hand. Always, if you can't start it by hand, it might be binding up or not quite fully aligned. So I like to start everything by hand. And you can see here, this one's going in nice and easy by hand. So that's a good sign. It's bright. By the way, this is a 9/16, in case you're wondering. And again, this is my 1986 Ebb Tide Montego that I've been working on. I picked it up for $600. And it's been a pretty fun project. I've had to put new carburetors, I've had to put new power reeds, new fuel lines, had to replace 2 of the carburetors. And well, we were enjoying it last summer, and like I said, we hit that rock, and that kind of, right at the end of the summer, it was probably our last boat trip that we were gonna do anyways. And of course, we broke it on the last trip out, naturally, right? It's always the way. Now everything's going nice and good together. Tighten these 4 up. Alright, I should be able to take the strap off now. I'm gonna wait. Actually, we're gonna do that here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and put these bolts in back here, right here. Then I'll take the strap off. All right. It's looking good, looking good. Okay. Got my 9/16 here. This longer bolt actually is going to be bigger than 9/16. So let me go get a different socket. Hold on. So it's a 5/8 of the one bigger bolt here. 5/8, and it goes up through the middle here. I think. Right? Oh, I'm gonna have to remove the strap. It shouldn't move. There we go. Strap's loose. That strap worked good, I'm telling you. That was huge because I was trying to do it by myself without that help. To hold this up and try to get that shift linkage in there lined up, that was a tough order. So I'm gonna take the prop back off now for a minute so I can put all this back together. Just take this guy off. Alright. Put this together. Don't need the extension. That's tight. Now, there's one last bolt. Don't forget this one. It's real easy to forget. It's a 9/16 also. And it goes up there behind the fin plate. And again, I'm gonna start it by hand, but you gotta have a socket on there. And I could probably use the extension for this. Don't forget this one, goes up in the middle. It started nice and easy, so that's good. My daughter's already asking, when can we go on the boat? I'm like, baby, it's 50 degrees outside. Although I'm ready to go too. I am ready to go. Alright, that's nice and tight. And I can take this off. Let me get my fin, and then we're gonna be working on the linkage. Alright, this guy's ready to go back on. Wonder what Derek's doing today. It's bright. It's smaller than a 9/16, so I gotta go get a different socket now. Hold on. This one's actually a half, not a 9/16. Now this little fin right here, mine was drilled out for a fin that sits on top, so I've got really clear markings on where it goes back. But if you're ever doing this, oh, it's smaller than a half. If you're ever doing this fin back on here, you want to make sure you get it back in the right spot. That's what I was told. So it must be a 7/16 then. Nope. Dang it. Hold on, find the right socket. Maybe that socket was just too big. I don't, 3/8 looks too small. Yeah, that socket was just too big. Okay, it is a 7/16. Whoopsies. Let me line this up. And tight. All right. That's tight. Everything's tight. Let me just go back and retorque these guys. You don't want too much, but you don't want them. You want them pretty snug. See there? Got another quarter turn out of those. Oop, wrong way. Oh. All right, those are all tight. Water pipes lined up. Now we're gonna put the engine down, try to get that throttle linkage hooked up. Put my prop back on. I don't want to get scratched up. My new to me prop. This is my new to me prop. eBay special, $75. It's the exact same prop that was on there, just not bent. All right, let me get this rigged up for the throttle, and I'll move the camera. But I can't get in there with anything, so I don't have a 2/4 inch adapter with the same. I should be able to get in there with this, that throttle linkage. Let's see if I'm successful. So I just got these new extensions I really like, because especially for stuff like this where you're trying to get this pin into that throttle linkage, I needed something that would go down and then give me an angle. Well, this has the rounded tip on it. You can see there it's rounded. And what that does is gives me the ability to get just enough angle that I can get in there and slide this pin in. See, and then I can use this to tighten it even. So it's pretty handy. Let's see if it works. Still. Really could use more angle even. and see if I can get a little more angle on it. Put one more, I went with the short socket instead of a deep socket, and another extension with the angle on it. Trying to get this in here the best, easiest way possible. I got it. Now I just got to get a flat head in there so I can line that linkage up a little better. This should get it done. All right, I got it started. Now I just gotta tighten it. There we go. So I did the same process before, but I just did it with flat heads and magnets, and it probably took me 30 minutes of dropping it, fishing it back out, finagling with that pin. So man, this really made a huge difference in getting in there and getting that where I wanted it. I'm just gonna get a socket wrench and tighten it up. Okay, it's tight. I'm gonna make sure with my flathead that it feels nice and tight. Yeah, feels good. Alright, it's tight. It looks like my lock washer might have fell off. Let's see if I can get that out. Alright, time to put some oil in the lower unit. I've got one bottle, so I'm hoping this is enough to fill it up. I think it was last time. I changed it last summer. So I've already screwed my adapter into the bottom, and I've removed the vent at the top. Okay. So I've removed the vent plug at the top, got this adapter screwed in here, snug, not tight, and we should be able to start pumping now. There it goes. And we're gonna fill this up. I'm gonna fill this up till it starts coming out the top. So we'll let you know. All right, y'all, there it is. All done. Got the oil in it. Got the prop tightened down with the cotter pin. And gave her a little touch up on the spray paint here. I think it turned out really good. Yeah, I know there's some off-white here, but you know, someday I'll probably tape all this off and try to paint on that right there. But for now, I think it looks pretty good. So that's the rig. Next video will probably be first start of the summer. It's a little chilly today to be getting in the water and trying to get it running, but it's all oiled up, ready to go. I will probably try to record the first start, so stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.